Thank you, Walter. And of course, all of this in a case being decided by a jury with only one black juror. Joining me now is criminal defense attorney Gerald Griggs. Gerald, welcome back to the program. So we heard Walter talk about in that program how, in his report rather, how one attorney was saying this is why it's important for blacks to show up for jury duty. And in the case of Ahmaud Arbery's case in Brunswick, Georgia, many blacks showed up and only one was selected. So to that end, is justice being denied or delayed?
Well, I think I want to applaud all the African Americans that did show up in Brunswick, Georgia to do their civic duty. We have to have more of that and more diversity and inclusion and thought in our justice system. So I want to applaud them for that. But in this particular case, we have to be hyper vigilant. The words of Attorney Goff have no place in Georgia jurisprudence. I do agree with my friend Barbara Arnwine. He needs to be disciplined by the bar. That particular statement has no place in a Georgia courtroom. But I think what we as African Americans can do is to be present in Brunswick, Georgia. I know Reverend Al Sharpton and my brother Ben Crump have called for 100 pastors. We're calling for 500 citizens to come and be a part of this hearing. Of course, peaceful and nonviolent, but to be present so that family knows that they have support. We have to also not only participate in the system, but we have to raise up a generation of lawyers to bring more inclusion into the bar so that we have no more relics like Attorney Goff, no more relics like the judge in Kyle Rittenhouse's courtroom. We have to make sure there's inclusion in the bar as well as from the citizenry.
Absolutely. And, I want to play a shot real quick from Wanda, who is the mother of Ahmaud Arbery, Wanda Cooper. Let's listen to her real quickly in terms of what she said about Kevin Goff's statement yesterday.
What Goff said yesterday was very insensitive. I don't see how anyone could see Al Sharpton's presence as being something that was negative. He knows that my family and I are going through some very, very trying times, and anyone who can come and sit with us to give us any sort of inspiration and encouragement, I mean, it can't be frowned upon. It's all good.
Gerald, let's break that down. Wanda Cooper Jones, a mother of Ahmaud Arbery, who never saw the video until this trial got underway. And we remember her emotional response, that outburst of emotion in the courtroom, which was expected. And yet it was so heartbreaking to hear her go through that. Why would an attorney, even on the defense side, even though he's defending the three people accused of gunning down Arbery, why would he even do that and then not apologize? It just smacks of insensitivity to the woman who has lost her son.
Yes, and I think what Attorney Goff has to remember, that even though we're in the heat of battle, we are talking about a family. We're talking about people that have lost someone. Wanda Cooper Jones is the picture of resilience. She is so graceful in this moment. She is the reason why we're even here. Her presence and continue to push for justice for her son. So she should be embraced by everyone in that community. Even if you're on a different side, you should always have grace and compassion for her. I think that Attorney Goff got caught up in the moment. He said things in public that he's probably said in private. And that's why we have to have this real robust conversation about race in America. We are not in a post-racial society. We are dealing with the demons of the past currently, and we have to get it right. So what I would say is he needs to apologize to Wanda. He needs to apologize to Marcus Arbery and the entire Arbery family, and he needs to do it now.
And that is why so many pastors are willing to come there to support the family of Ahmaud Arbery. And let's keep in mind that, as she stated, why would you come against someone who's standing by my side to give me inspiration as she's going through this painful ordeal? Where is the humanity coming from the defense attorney, realizing what has happened to her 25-year-old son at the hands of the two people or the three people that he's defending?
Yeah, and I think what people need to understand, I was present there that afternoon. You could not see Reverend Al Sharpton from where we were in the jury box. I mean, there are two overflow rooms and then there's a courtroom. Reverend Al was sitting with Wanda Cooper Jones. You couldn't see him. They barely recognized him. So for them to say something like that was just a side-handed slap at this family. This family needs support, and we need people to understand that this is a process. They've been trying to grieve the loss of their son as well as fighting for justice. So there needs to be a contrition moment, not just in that courtroom, but a contrition moment with that family by Mr. Goff for his insensitive statements. And we also need to understand that this is a process that no family should have to go through. They've buried their 25-year-old son and now have to sit through a trial where gruesome and horrific pictures of your son, you have to see that video again, and you have to listen to the excuses that are being made by individuals that have hunted your son. So I'm proud to stand with this family. We had a march yesterday. We are calling on more citizens to come in a peaceful, nonviolent way, but also to be present and be focused on supporting this family. We are encouraged by Reverend Al Sharpton being there. We're hopeful that Reverend Jackson will be there. I know Bishop Jamal Bryant will be there, and others. We're calling on 500 citizens to be present next Thursday to stand with this family.
Gerald, I appreciate you being there, and I appreciate what Barbara Arnwine and Transformative Justice has been able to do. Our reporter on the scene there, Drake Clark, talks about how they are out there every day to provide support and doing it with prayer and doing it nonviolently. I appreciate you bringing your insights and perspective in terms of what happened there, and keep us updated. Attorney Gerald Griggs, thanks for joining us. Coming up next, closing arguments to begin next week in the divisive